Hello students, my name is Kirandeep Kaur from Thapar Polytechnic College, Patiala. I am your instructor for the course Web Development using PHP, which is the 5th semester subject of Diploma in Computer Science and Engineering under Punjab State Board of Technical Education and Industrial Training. So let's start. First of all, I want to show you the syllabus of first chapter of board. Your first chapter is XML basics and the contents of this syllabus is history. We have to study history of XML, origins of XML, comparison of XML and HTML, components of XML, anatomy of an XML, a sample XML document, XML declaration, root element, an empty element, attributes, markup delimiters, element markup, attribute markup. So in this lecture, we are going to start with chapter 1, XML basics. The contents of this lecture will be the introduction to XML, history of XML, the origins of XML, and the last one will be comparison of XML and HTML. So first of all, I would like to introduce you XML. The full form of XML is Extensible Markup Language. So X is taken from extensible, M is taken from markup, and L is taken from language. It is basically a text-based markup language. So what you understand by text-based? Text-based means text-based markup language basically. Text-based means that it will tell you what the text is with a markup. Are you understanding? So with the markup means that the tag itself will tell that what the text or the content of the particular file or text is. This is the definition of text-based markup language. This means, like for example, if I show you an example of XML document, in this you can see that here the first line, I'll discuss it afterwards. You start with the second line. Now the second line tells that this is a note. Third line tells that the note is to whom. Fourth line tells the note is from whom. Are you getting my point? So if we have to read this message, we will read like Jane is telling to Tom, reminder, it is a reminder for Tom from Jane that he should not forget him this weekend. Alright, so this will be read as like this. So the tags of XML, to, from, heading, body, note, these are not predefined tags. These tags can be defined by the author of the particular file. The author can be you or I or anybody who wants to design a XML file. So let's go back to the introduction part. So now I hope you can understand what is text-based markup language. Text-based markup language means a markup language which explains what the text is with the help of its tags. So in this content, if I say, then Nick is the name of an employee. The tag tells, the starting tag and the ending tag both are telling that Nick is an employee, name of an employee. Alright, that enables you to store data in a structured format. So as I have given you the example of the XML, in this you can see the structure. In structure format means now you can understand that this is the main topic, that this is the note, and under note these are the tags. So note is also a tag, but to, from, heading, body, these are under note. So all these types of tags and elements we will be studying in our next lecture. For now, you must understand what is a text-based markup language and what is a structured format. So I am telling you again that text-based markup language is the language which explains the meaning of text with the help of tags. Structured format means it is having a proper structure which tells that which tag is under different tag. So to, from, heading, body are under note tag. Getting my point? So we are now clear with text-based markup language and structured format. So XML is basically text-based markup language that enables you to store data in a structured format by using meaningful tags. Alright, one more form of structured format is to store the data in tabular form by picking the contents from the XML format. But this is a bit advanced format. We will now we will understand structured format, that XML itself will have a structure that contains one tag, and under those tags we have many different tags. Alright. So next part is XML is designed to be self-descriptive. So obviously if the language itself is telling that what this text is, Nick is an employee name. Another example can be Tom, it is a note to Tom from Jane. So it is self-descriptive. It is telling you that the content is particularly this, or the content is, say, Nick is a employee. So why it is called an extensible language? Because it allows users to define their own elements or tags. Alright, so this means that the users can define their own tags. There are no predefined tags in XML. You can define your own XML tags. You can design your own XML file. Alright. So the main part is XML gives only information about the data. So I hope this slide is clear to you, that XML, the full form of XML is extensible markup language. It is a text-based markup language that enables you to store data in a structured format. Alright, using meaningful tags. It is designed to be self-descriptive and extensible language because it allows its users to define their own elements or tags. XML gives only information about the data. Now this part is very important. XML gives information about only data that you will understand in the coming slides. So next topic, introduction to XML, under introduction to XML is that XML is a recommendation from W3C. Now what is W3C? W3C is World Wide Web Consortium. It is a group of many companies and universities which make the protocols for www, and they have recommended XML for using for data. How to use XML, that we will learn in the coming slides. Alright, so next is XML is fee-free open standard. Alright, so you need not to pay anything to any company for using XML. It is a open source. You can freely make XML file without asking any permission from any company or any www. Alright, so it is fee free. Next is XML is a cross-platform hardware and software independent markup language. This is very important. Cross-platform means that it can communicate between any operating system, any hardware, any application. Alright, cross-platform means any operating system, any hardware means hardware can be Dell hardware, it can be Acer hardware, it can be Intel processor with a Dell laptop, it can be a Acer laptop, any hardware can be there. And software means any application. So I have given the example of two here. Let's understand this. Now XML can help you to communicate with any application. Application 1 can talk with application 5, or application 5 can talk with application 2. Basically, what is the funda? All the applications with any type of database. Alright, if you let me explain you again. Application means, say one application is running with MS Access database and another application is running with MS SQL database. Both are databases but with different protocols. Alright, so both the databases cannot communicate directly. They need some common platform in which they can convert their data, and that common platform is XML format. XML, now if the client of MS Access database wants to communicate with the MS SQL database client, then they both will convert their table data into XML format. So this is how basically this particular diagram is showing that all the design specs will convert their data into XML database. Then XML database will can communicate with any application it wants. Means on the internet, on the World Wide Web, any computer or hardware with any platform, any operating system can communicate with any application running with a database without any problem with the help of XML. Alright, so this is the beauty and importance and power of XML. Next topic is primary purpose. So the primary purpose of XML is to facilitate sharing, that we have already discussed in the previous slide also, that it is a cross-platform hardware and software independent. The main purpose was to share the data of structured data across different information systems particularly via the internet. All right, because on internet, human beings are not talking with each other. Basically, machines are communicating. So how a machine will come to know that, if say for example in this diagram we came again, now a machine is running an application which is using MS Access database. How this machine will know how to communicate with the machine using an application which is using MS SQL database? Alright, so sharing of data is very difficult. So the basic purpose of XML was to share the structured data. Alright, to share the tabular form of data on the internet using XML. So this is the main purpose of XML, to share the data. It is used both to encode documents, encoding करनी documents की, and serialize data. Serialize means, serialization is the process of converting an object into a form that can be readily transported. So the XML format, any database will convert its table into XML format. Now this XML format or XML file will be a text file that can be transferred with the application information to another client. The another client will again pick the XML format and convert it into its own database and read the data. So this is the power of XML, that any database running with any application on any operating system on any hardware can communicate with each other. Alright, so XML is used as a common data interchange format in a number of applications. ठीक है जी? So the next example that we can read is here. Now this is the BMS platform. BMS is Building Management System Platform. So it is having a database. Now this platform needs to communicate with a IoT, Energy Management System, and platform of IoT. Now they need to talk with each other or communicate with each other. The database of BMS platform will convert its data into XML format using XML processor, and this XML processor will output a XML document, and this document will be communicated or shared with the another XML processor. Got it? So this is the basic concept of XML. Now some of the very good facts about XML. This you need to know. First, very important XML fact is that you cannot run or execute an XML document. Alright. तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल जैसे आप HTML का आप रन कर लेते हो, ठीक है, द वे यू कैन रन एन HTML फाइल. हाउ यू कैन रन एन HTML फाइल? जस्ट बाय clicking over it. If the file is being saved with .html file, when you double click on the file, it will run on the browser and it will show you the output, right? So it will not show you the output with the texts and tags. It will show you the output with formatting, proper formatting of document. All right, but your XML document do not get executed. If you say that yes, the now I have saved my text file with the .xml extension, now when I will double click over it, it will execute and it will show me the results with the tabular form and all. No, it is not a programming language. XML itself is not a programming language. It cannot run or execute. Alright? It is just a markup specification language. So this means XML files are just data. Alright? They are just data that sit there until you run a program which displays them or does some work with them. Alright? So this means it is just a file and you have to read this file with some another application or some another program. Say for example PHP. PHP can read the XML files and gives you the output, or ASP. Alright, so these are some of the languages which some of the platforms basically which helps you to read XML files. Alright, so the platforms which can read XML files, those platforms can either read, write or modify the data of the XML files. XML documents do not carry information about how to display or present the data. That is why it cannot get executed. Alright. Since now XML tags are invented by the author of XML document. Say for example, if I am creating an XML document, I have taken, say, this note I have taken. So this can be a note, or this can be, I can say this is important information can be the tag, or information can be the tag, or note can be the tag. Anything I want to embed as a tag, I can. Alright, so the information of my file, I will be the author of that file. The information invented will be by the author of the XML document. जो भी XML document लिखेगा उसको ही पता होगा कि उसने उस XML document में क्या क्या चीजें लिखी हैं. Alright? So ब्राउजर्स जो हैं उनको नहीं पता होगा कि अगर टैग, फॉर एग्जाम्पल टैग टेबल बना दिया ऑथर ने, तो क्या वो टैग जो है वो HTML का टेबल है या स्टडी टेबल है. अगेन, सिंस XML tags are invented by the author of the XML document, browsers do not know if a tag like table describes an HTML table or a study table. So the browsers cannot depict what to show. That is why they do not present the data in a proper format like your HTML document. Alright, so without any information about how to display the data, most browsers will display the XML document as it is. So it is obvious that if we do not have any information about how to display or present the data, we will output the data as it is. So raw XML files can be viewed in all major browsers. Do not expect XML files to be displayed as HTML pages. XML was designed to carry data, not to display data. If you want to view or display an XML file, you can open it with XML editor or an XML browser. Now I have made a XML document for you. I have created this file with name note, and I have saved this file with .xml extension. Now when you save this file with the .xml extension, the windows will show you a file like this. Here I am showing you the properties of this file, node properties. The type of file is XML, .xml file hai ye. Now if I double click over this file, it will be open in any browser. It has been open in Edge. Now you can see over here. Here the Edge has just given the color coding to the tags so that the end user or the author of the file must know that these are the tags and this is the text. That's it. Only this can be changed by the browser. Otherwise, some browsers just show the plain document. Alright, so don't worry that my XML is not working or I am double clicking over it and the browser is just showing the content as it is not displaying anything. It won't show you the content. You have to read the content from some another application that we will study in our coming lectures. So usage can be that we have already. Now I'm going to repeat the things. The usage of XML example can be Unix system written in C can communicate with the web service of Microsoft.NET architecture and are written in ASP.NET. Alright, so operating system written in C can communicate with an operating system or a web service written in ASP.NET with the help of XML. So XML is only the metadata, meta language, which gives you the meta information, that is information about the data that the systems understand, and they both need to agree on the format that the XML will be in. Typically, any partner, or you can say one of the partners means, as I have given you the example of in this slide. Now I am telling that this is one partner, this is another partner. So in how they will communicate, ऐसे नहीं है कि इसने किसी फॉर्मेट में लिख दिया और दूसरा जो है वो किसी और फॉर्मेट में उसको समझी जा रहा है. No, they have to agree on a single format that yes, for this particular tag, this is the meaning of this particular tag. For say for example, if emp or employee is a tag, all right, so what to take, emp only or full employee? All right, so XML format is also fixed between two machines or two partners or two applications before communicating the data. All right, so typically one of the partners in the process will offer a service to the other. ठीक है जी. सो इनमें क्या है कि एक पार्टनर जो है वो XML फॉर्मेट बना देगा और दूसरे को उसका समझना पड़ेगा या वो उससे एग्री कर जाए. ऑलराइट, thus defining the XML document and its protocol in a standard formal way which makes it easier for developers to understand. Alright, so you have to either offer or you have to agree upon the format so that it is easier for both the clients or the systems or the applications to communicate with each other. Only machine can talk with or communicate with another machine only when they know the language of both, and that language or the common platform can be given by the XML format. So now we are done with the introduction part of the XML. Let's have a quick review. XML is a XML is the extensible markup language. It is a text-based markup language that enables you to store structured format. Alright, it is self-descriptive and it stores only information. This is the example I have given you. The XML is recommended by W3C and is open source, fee-free open standard. XML is a cross-platform hardware and software independent markup language. Then the primary purpose to develop XML was to share the structured data across the different platforms. This is the examples we have already studied. Some facts that it cannot execute. This is a major fact that it cannot execute. You cannot run the XML document directly. Alright. So this we have already done. This was. Now we are going on the next topic of our syllabus, that is history of XML. So how XML was developed? Earlier there was no fixed format to describe the data. Alright. The web applications were the key value pairs or strings. The desktop applications were flat files. Flat files means जैसे word processor file है and so on. Alright. So how to communicate between the two applications or two platforms or two machines? There was no standard way to communicate data with another program. So in late 1960s, generic coding with use of descriptive elements for document formatting came into existence. Alright, some tags were developed, but this was also not the end. Now the history begins with the standardized generalized markup language, that was SGML by Charles Goldfarb. Alright, in 1970s, in late 1970s you can say, they were working with IBM when they developed SGML. The purpose of SGML was to create vocabularies which could be used to mark up documents with structural tags. Alright, the same type of tags that we have studied in our example of XML. वैसे ही उन्होंने vocabularies create करनी शुरू की. Vocabularies create करना means कि ये चेक करना कि जो टेक्स्ट है उसको मार्कअप देना so that पता लग जाए कि टेक्स्ट क्या है. Alright. In parallel with SGML came the most well-known tag-based language, HTML. HTML was created by Tim Berners-Lee in 1980s, almost after a decade. In parallel with SGML, HTML came into existence. But HTML evolved to become only useful for presentation and wasn't a suitable technology for use in greater information or data exchanges. Alright, so it was only for presentation purpose. It was widely used but only for presentation purpose. Information exchange or data exchange was not possible. That if you are not understanding right now, that I will clear you in the comparison part when we will read about study about the comparison of XML and HTML. There I will tell you how basically HTML is presenting the data and how XML cannot present, and it can contain only data which can be simple data. It cannot present XML. Alright, XML cannot present, but HTML can present. That we will clarify. I will clarify you in the advanced slides. Alright. So for now, you just understand that after SGML in parallel with SGML, HTML was developed by Tim Berners-Lee, but HTML was only useful for presentation and not suitable for exchange of information. All right. Now, after almost a decade, John Bozek, Tim Bray, and James Lark, and few others came up with an idea of XML, Extensible Markup Language, in 1990s near about. Now XML is a simplified form of HTML. All right. ये सिंप्लीफाइड फॉर्म है, XML जो है वो सिंप्लीफाइड फॉर्म है HTML की. जैसे HTML में वोकैबुलरीज बनती हैं, इसमें भी वोकैबुलरीज ही बनती हैं. ऑलराइट, बट दिस इज सिंप्लीफाइड फॉर्म. HTML इज मोर कम्प्लेक्स. ऑलराइट, like HTML, XML uses DTDs, document type definitions, to define document types and the meanings of tags used in them. So ye document type definitions, what is this? That also we will study in the future lectures. Don't worry, just copy them down or note them down in your copy, that what topics you are not clear about. I will clear all the topics in the advanced lectures, as these certain definitions cannot be given in such a small span. I cannot give you the document type definition in one go. I have to explain it. Alright. So don't worry if you're not understanding DTDs. You just understand that XML is using tags to give meanings to the text. Alright. So next is, after creation of XML, why it was created? It was created to give meaning or to the data vocabularies, as a means to invent data vocabularies. When transmitting data from one machine to another, the data alone is not sufficient. Alright, instead it is necessary to exchange the meaning of that data, and XML allows for such descriptive measures. Got my point? So only if like for example in HTML you create a table, you might be having in your mind that HTML में भी तो tables बन जाते हैं, हम उसमें भेज देंगे. What is the fun of using the XML and all? HTML में जो tables बनेंगे वो tables जो हैं उनमें से आप data pick नहीं कर सकते. पिक करना मीन्स फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ आप आपने टेबल बना लिया जिसमें स्टूडेंट की इंफॉर्मेशन है, एंड आई वांट टू नो दैट दी से फॉर एग्जाम्पल टिम इज फादर ऑफ whom. So how to pick from HTML? You have to scroll down all the web page of HTML just to find one particular student. Alright, but in XML we can have this type of search also. That we will all discuss about it. You don't worry about. So for now you just understand that XML was created as a means to invent data vocabularies, because data alone was not sufficient. We have to send meaning of the data also, so that the other client or the other machine can also understand what is the meaning of that particular data or text sent. Alright. So although the creation of XML was originally led by technologists at Sun Microsystems in 1996, it was Microsoft, interestingly enough, that played a much larger role in the promotion and acceptance of XML. Alright, so Microsoft has continued to greatly integrate XML into many of its products and services, including Microsoft Office. Microsoft Office में भी वो XML को यूज़ करते हैं, Excel में भी आपको आप जो है वो XML यूज़ करते हो, लेकिन you don't know, it is at the back end. XML eventually became important not just to Microsoft but also Sun and even IBM. All these big companies are using XML in their products. Alright. So by this history of the XML is over, let's give you a brief introduction, a brief story of history, story of XML history again. Then that, first of all, you need to write that there was no any fixed format to describe the data. So web applications were simple key values or strings, and desktop applications were just flat files, manifests, or compiled data files. There was no standard way to communicate the data with another program. Alright, so first of all, in 1970s, SGML was discovered. SGML was used to create vocabularies. Parallelly with SGML, HTML was discovered by Tim Berners-Lee in 1980s. However, HTML was only useful for presentation and it was not a suitable technology for greater information data exchanges. बड़ा बड़ा जो बहुत ज़्यादा data होता है उसको exchange करने के लिए that was not possible or suitable technology. So after that, in 1990s, John Bozak, Tim Bray, James Clark and few others came with an idea of XML. XML is a simplified form of SGML and is using DTDs to define document types and meanings of tags used in them. XML was created as a means to invent data vocabularies, as when transmitting data from one machine to another, the data alone is not sufficient. It is necessary to exchange the meaning of that data, and XML allows for such descriptive measures. Alright, so Sun Microsystems have created it in 1996, but was largely used by Microsoft. And right now, Microsoft, Sun, IBM and many more companies are using XML. So for now, the lecture is over. The next topics, origins of XML and comparison, will be given in another lecture, in second lecture. Thank you.